new project. It's Mortarion, Primarch of the Death Guard, for those who don't know. Obviously, that's not the complete model. He's got big old wings and everything. This is going to be a multi-stream thing. It's a big project. I'm going to take it easy. I'm not going to rush him. This is a model I've been looking to paint for a long time, so settle in, I guess. I hope you enjoy. I'm starting off with just blocking out some colour. So it's been primed black. I'm just going to block out some of the base colours effectively today. So starting off with Death Guard green on the armour. Straight on base coat over the primer. I'm going with quite classic colours in general. Welcome in, Indy. Good to see you. I hope you're well. Yeah, new project. This is one I wanted to paint for a long time, basically since the model came out. And I was shy about it, basically. I wasn't confident I could do a good job. But now I've got a bit more confidence in my painting. And while I'm not convinced I will do a good job, necessarily, I feel like I could at least do an okay job. So that's basically it. Plus, I just really wanted to paint Mortarion. So that's what we're doing today. Like I said, today this is kind of like his torso, primarily. So I'm just going to block out the colours more than anything else. So I'm just going to focus on getting all the base coats in, so I kind of have a good idea of where it's going to go. And don't think of this as like the line art to the rest of the paint. Obviously, it's not. He's missing a few bits. He's not got his wings. He's not got his scythe. There's a lot of other little details and stuff that aren't on the model yet. But this will kind of give you a good flavour of the kind of colours that I'm going to be using. Obviously, we're going with the classic Death Guard green armour. And I like Mortarion as a character. I know he gets a lot of flack for basically sacrificing his principles to save his legion. All I'm going to say is Horace did it first to that. But I really like Mortarion as a character. I think he doesn't earn himself any awards for being charming. But the idea of supernatural resilience always appealed to me. Stuff that would take down even a regular Space Marine. The Death Guard endure. So that always appealed to me. And even though he hates the Chaos Gods with a passion, because he was tricked, in a way, to following them, he does his duty, regardless of his personal feelings. There's a resilience of the mind, in a way, with Mortarion, as well as resilience of physicality. I don't know, his story resonated with me quite a lot. Yeah, he endured so much already before he even got gifted the Death Guard. And even then, he didn't really want them. He didn't want his own legion. He wasn't interested in being a leader. But that's what he was given. And that was his duty, or so he was told. So yeah, that's just kind of why I like him. I find him interesting. I like his perseverance, even when it's for something or a cause he doesn't actually truly believe in. And he came to love his legion. You know, he came to see them as the thing to be protected above all else. And you know, his whole arc seems to be characterized by putting aside his own wants and beliefs and needs for a bigger purpose, whether it's to save his legion from dying in the warp, or you know, to fulfill the Emperor's wishes for him, or to prevent full-scale civil war within his own legion. When Typhus came along and was like, hey, we worship Nurgle now. And Mortarion had to choose between splitting his legion and giving up on what he personally believed was a wrong decision, and allowing it to take over his entire legion. I just think it's interesting. It's an interesting microcosm of the kind of choices we face. You know? So yeah, I like Nurgle, I like the Death Guard, but I like Mortarion as well. And I think he gets a bit of an unfair rep. He's got the kind of quieter strength that is not necessarily always valued as much. But it should be celebrated just the same. Strength isn't always about doing the loud, obvious things. Sometimes it's just about making hard choices. Sometimes there is no good option. And I think out of all the Primarchs, Mortarion understands that better than anyone. Sometimes you got two choices and both of them suck, and you gotta pick one. I hope no one here has ever got to deal with that kind of situation. But I think most people will be able to relate in one way or another. Greater good? Kinda, Indy. Sometimes there is no good. Sometimes you've got to make a choice and both options are bad. Like, neither option is going to be good. And sometimes it's about doing the least bad thing. You know, whether it's causing you pain or it's causing someone else pain, sometimes it's just about doing the least bad thing. And it's hard being put in that position. But yeah, it's one of those things of, you know, one of the hallmarks of this Primarch that not a lot of people talk about is he does a lot of self-sacrifice. You know, he sacrifices his beliefs frequently for the sake of protecting something bigger than himself. Whether it's his legion, its planet, you know, his men, whatever it is, he puts his own wants and needs aside for them on a fairly regular basis. I always liked also he never bowed down, in a sense of he gave people the respect that they deserved. You know, if they were a leader, he respected them, but he never knelt. You know, he didn't treat them differently just because they were in charge. It's a subtle thing, but I like it. You know, your position in life does not automatically mean I grovel before you. That was kind of his attitude. Plus, his design, like, he eventually becomes a demon. Like all of the Chaos Primarchs. His design is cool. He has these gigantic wings and a scythe. He's basically the Grim Reaper. I just like that imagery. He's a demonic, disease-bearing Grim Reaper of death. Think death as one of the Four Horsemen, and that's kind of a lot of the inspiration behind Mortarion. Nice, Indy. I hope you enjoy it. I know you've been looking forward to it. But yeah, my little thank you for coming to my TED talk on why Mortarion deserves a break. Okay. I'm still just picking out the bits that I want to be Death Guard green, basically. This will be a little rough. You know, it's not going to be flawlessly neat because it's very early stages. But I'm trying to keep it as neat as possible, just so that, you know, future layers are going to be a bit easier. I'm not going to have to spend so much time tidying up as I did with the last project I did. Bit of Fallout 4. About to get tier 3 of Pain Train. Nice. Maybe you enjoy that, indeed. I've not actually played Fallout 4. Pain Train sounds good. Sounds like a lot of fun. So all I'm doing here is just tidying up a little bit, trying to get rid of some of that streakiness that sometimes happens before we go on to the next colour. And I think we did a pretty good job of getting it the first time around. Switching down the brush size now because these are smaller areas. So, most of my Death Guard I painted a particular way. So I'm going to paint it like the rest of my Death Guard. He's going to be the centerpiece. I'm going to tidy up this little bit here just for a brief moment. It wasn't as smooth as it looked. Exactly, because this is a centerpiece model. This is one that I will take a little bit more time over. Just making sure the details are right, basically. There you go. I want to do a good job on this guy. Not just because he's an expensive model and I paid a lot of money for this plastic, but because, like I said, this is a model that I've been looking forward to painting. Rushing enemies and knocking them down is fun. Always. Always good fun. I'm actually gonna switch to a slightly bigger brush for these areas. I will come back to the tiny brush, but not just yet. Tiny brush doesn't quite do these big flat areas justice. So these are the Death Guard and the 41st Millennium. They've got their putrid green armor and royal purple robes. Which again, I just think is a really nice color combination. Like, I love the design of the Death Guard. The newer Death Guard stuff. Do you see what people say about it being a little bit cartoony? And that the color scheme is a little bit goofy. But I actually really like it. I like the borderline excessive emphasis on gross mixed with the like decayed noble stuff. You know, the decayed royal robes and the moldy, rusted, fancy twists and chainmail flair. Just this kind of like decayed grandeur vibe that I get from it. I kind of love it. Yeah, an echo of glories gone by or something like that. Leaves you in absolutely no doubt that these are a fallen legion. And while they may be strong, it is not the strength they used to possess. And I think no other member of the Death Guard embodies that more than Mortarion himself. He's strong. Yeah, he's got demon powers now. He's got all of this, but he's not as strong as he used to be. Yeah, his glory has faded. That'd be crazy if I'm trying to heat pepperoni now. Is it particularly warm where you are at the moment, Indy? I've got one of those glorious, bright and cool spring days that I absolutely love. So it's sunny, it's light, but the air is still quite cool. It's not too warm. You can feel the sun if you step out, but it's not baking hot. It's not uncomfortable. It's like that just right temperature. So am I getting colder? That's good to hear. I hope it's a comfortable temperature, at least. Not too unbearable. So yeah, I want to keep this kind of dark if I can. I don't want this purple getting too bright. But I also want it to look consistent. And yeah, this will be a lot of ode to the glory days gone by kind of feeling. I wanted him to feel like something that was once beautiful and elaborate and rich, but has been left a little too long. You can still kind of see echoes of, yeah, he was beautiful in his time, but his time is long past. That kind of thing. If you've ever seen very elaborate clothing from previous centuries that's not been kept very well, so it's all moth-eaten and frayed and faded now. But you can still kind of see that it was beautiful and rich when it was first made. I don't really know how to put that into a simple phrase or a catchy phrase, but that's the kind of feeling that I'm trying to evoke. spice tolerance is increasing. That's cool, Lindy. I'm glad to hear it. I like spicy foods. Not like I like spice only when it contributes something other than heat. So I like flavorful spices. I don't like spicy for the sake of spicy. Okay. So, still going with the cloak. This is a long, elaborate robe. Multi-layered. Is that super? No. I mean, that's a good example, Indie. I don't like that stuff. Like, I don't like spice that makes you feel like you've been punched in the mouth. I feel like I can handle it decently well. But I don't like it. But I do enjoy spice when it's part of a dish. So if you got like I don't know, hot sauce for example is a good example of it. Some hot sauces are just designed to, you know, make you taste nothing but spice, and they don't have any other flavor to them. But then some hot sauces are spicy with sweetness and fruitiness, and you know, they've got more to them than just spiciness. I like the second type of spice. You know, if I've got a spicy curry, I want to taste, you know, the tomatoes, the coriander, the meat, the vegetables that are in there, as well as the spice. I don't want to just taste spicy. Having said that, I do love watching Hot Ones with Sean Evans. I think that's one of the best interview formats I've ever seen. And he gets some really amazing names. I want to know how he gets his research on people. Best spicy meal. Ooh. Yeah, that's a good question. See, I know it's not technically a meal, but the best spicy ingredient I have had has been a chili infused honey. And I used that to make pulled pork a while ago. And that was incredible. So it was like sweet and spicy. You had like the rich, fatty pulled pork. I think we just put it on nachos or something, like really plain. But that was probably the favorite one that I've made. In terms of spicy meals out, I don't tend to go massively spicy, but it would be probably a ginger chicken balti from my local curry house. It's not particularly spicy, but they get the balance right of flavors, so it's just really good. But yeah, the pulled pork with the chili honey, barbecue, and just, yes, I love that kind of food. I love using honey as an ingredient. Like a good little, like, a little bit of a really good quality honey can really change a dish, and it tastes so good. What about you? What's your favorite spicy meal? Or what's the best one that you've had? Spicy marinated chicken and rice meal? That sounds good, Indy. I love chicken and rice as like the concept for a meal. There's so many different varieties you can have. You can have it like spicy. You can go with kind of Asian flavors. You can go with Italian flavors. Mexican, like literally whatever kind of food you're into. You can easily adapt chicken and rice to fit that cuisine. It's pretty cool. They're both just such versatile ingredients. Still working on this clip. We're just taking our time with it, making sure that we get all the bits that we're meant to get with this. Now, you're noticing I'm leaving the ends not painted because they're actually smoke at the ends. It's not part of the cloak. So I'm leaving those ends bare so that I can more easily blend them in later. I hope everyone's having a good day. Or night, you know. Whatever time of day it is for you. I hope it's going well. Having a comfy, relaxing weekend. I've not got anything else planned for this weekend. It's going to be a nice chill one for me. I've got a public holiday tomorrow. Unfortunately, I still got to go to party. It'll be good. I'm hoping the weather's nice tomorrow. Might be able to take a walk. Take some photos, that sort of thing. Just rinsing the brush, making sure there's not too much build-up happening here. One thing I need to do soon is give all of my brushes a good proper wash through with like proper soap and stuff, and just a rinse. I've been getting lazy with that recently. Maybe just because it takes so long. It's worth doing, but it takes so long. I'm putting it off. That's something to worry about another time. Because for now we paint. I love how dark this comes out. Overall, I love this purple. It's probably one of my favorite colors to use. It just looks good. It's one of those paints that no matter when you use it, it looks good. It goes on well. It does what you expect it to. It's what I like to call a well-behaved paint. Me? Hey, Holly. Welcome in. I can't draw to save my life. I could probably do face paints though. I've never tried, but I could probably give it a go. I hope you're doing well, Holly. It's good to see you. I'm gonna be a Holly's. Hey, my D&D character. I could try to paint your face like your D&D character. I don't know what your D&D character is. Sorry, I should say who your D&D character is. I'd love to be able to draw though. That's one of those skills that I've never tried to learn, but I want to. I love the idea of being able to do art for people. But I have all the drawing abilities of a spoon. I hope you're doing well, Holly. I hope you're having a good day. Okay, tiny brush time. So the metal is going to look very bright and shiny because we'll be weathering it later on. So it will get less shiny later, but it's going to look very bright and shiny for now. Maybe not tiny brush. Just very, very careful. Not tiny. Tiny brush is being uncooperative today, so regular size brush with extra caution it is. Okay. So all we're doing is making sure all the chainmail is actually silver. Like I said, it will be less bright and shiny in the final model, final look. but it will be bright and shiny for a little while until we get to that stage. I'm just blocking out the colours. Almost sketching out the colours in a way. This is sort of roughly the kind of colour that I want now. I know I want it to be silver. Maybe not quite the shade of silver, but we'll correct it a little bit later on in the process. This is also the point where you work out if you like the combination of colours that you're working with. So if there's any colours that you actually decide when you see it on the model don't look good, this is the point that you can change them easily. It's a lot harder when you're several layers deep and you're like, actually, kind of wanted this to be blue. It's a lot more work to fix that. Luckily, I'm happy with it so far. Maybe not the neatest, but like I said, this is early stages still. I love the layers of chainmail under the cloak. It's a nice touch. Self-care pit stop. Self-care checkpoint. Make sure you stretch, hydrate, take 30 seconds break looking away from the screen. I promise there'll be nothing exciting to look at for at least another 10-15 seconds. Let's get back to it. Yeah, we're just picking out the colours. That's all this is. Nothing should be massively surprising, I guess. You know, chainmail is silver, the robes are purple, the armor is green. Maybe it's not the first colour combination you'd think of, but if you know Death Guard at all, it's probably one that you're quite familiar with. Now these I'm not sure about. They may end up being more brass or dark bronze instead, but I'm making them silver for start. Yeah, I'm not sure if these will stay silver. This is one of those situations where you kind of have to trust the process a bit. Because my brain's going, it's too bright, it's too shiny. Well, yes, it's because there's no weathering on it, there's no, you know, no detail on it that would age the metal yet. I think I'll stick with these being a silver and then use the other metallics in detail. Like on here where they've got the fly. Maybe pick that out in a different metallic colour. That'll probably help. So if I remember my Death Guard lore correctly, these are all filled with various toxic gases. These are little orbs that I'm painting. And, you know, Mortarion being Death Guard doesn't bother him any. But certain, like a mortal, for example, a non-space marine, probably wouldn't be able to stand near him because of all these toxic gases that he keeps around him. Even some space marines would struggle to be near him. The strength of the poisons. And he's flying away. I knew that was going to happen. Just didn't know when. But yeah, I kind of love that. Stink bomb so bad even a space marine can't handle him. It's the Death Guard for you. Hey, cheese! Welcome in! And thank you! I'm glad you like the new glasses. I'm still getting used to them. Welcome in. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a good weekend. It's been a little bit since we've been able to catch up. But yeah, I definitely need my glasses for doing work like this when it's close up. So I'm slightly learning how to repaint. It turns out I was missing quite a bit. Starting to believe. I'm not sure about that. But I appreciate the words nonetheless. Aww. I'm tired. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. But congratulations on passing your license. I'm not sure why there was a word blocked in the middle of your sentence there. Usually the link was just I don't know. Twitch is funny about links sometimes. But congratulations on passing. I'm sorry it means you've been really busy, but I am happy for you for that achievement nonetheless. I still haven't got my license, personally. I was taking driving lessons a couple of years back, but it got to be too expensive. They kept putting the price up on me. And I was a student at the time, so I couldn't really afford much. Plus, I don't really need a car here, so it would just be having it for the sake of having my license. But I'm happy for you. And I hope you get a chance to catch up on some rest soon. Try for an early night? No worries, Cindy. Take it easy. Thank you for stopping in and for being a sweetheart. Take care. I'll see you soon. Hey, my girl, welcome in. Instructor 6 months. You had a really nice instructor. Aw. Oh, that's good to hear. I'm glad you had a good instructor. I don't think mine liked me very much, which probably didn't help. Mine was not very pleasant. But it's something I plan to go back to in the future. It's just not really a priority for me right now. Luckily, excuse me. Luckily, I'm in a position where I can walk to most places I need to get to. And, you know, we've got really good, like, Uber and public transport links here, so I'm not cut off as such. Plus, my partner drives and has a car, so there's that. I do want to get my own, but it's something that's quite a ways off for me. Aw, you know, 3 Kremlins. Fair enough. Yes, little ones will definitely change what you need. Lucky. No kids, but I do plan on having a dog in the future. Again, you know, where we are right now isn't our permanent place. We're saving up for a car. Yeah, saving up for a house, even. So we got a ways to go. And then we're gonna get, you know, the dog. I'm gonna get driving. All that sort of stuff. Puffy, yeah, we really want to get a dog. Unfortunately, our current place is just not suitable for one. There's not really enough space, and we don't have anywhere good to walk them. Because I want to be somewhere where I can walk the dog off the lead, and like give them space to run around and stuff. But we're a first floor flat with no green, like enclosed green space. So it's gonna wait, but I really want a dog. Or more accurately, I want like a herd of dogs. I love animals and I miss having them in the house. But no idea where you live. Aw. That's fair. I hope you can move somewhere where you can have all the little kitty cats you want. We could theoretically get a cat here, but we'd rather wait and get a dog. I also kind of want to live on a farm, so I also want to keep like ducks and chickens and a donkey and goats. Because I want to live on a functional farm where we can grow and raise enough food to keep us going without relying on regular shops. But that's a long, long way off. That's probably a retirement plan more than anything. Farms aren't exactly something that you can just pick up. No, I was going to paint the tower's a different colour, but I might actually just paint them green. I think that would look better. Again, all the metals look quite drastic, but when we get to the stage where we're sort of weathering things and adding that kind of detail, that'll change. They won't have quite as strong a contrast. We're steadily making progress. I think today I'm just going to focus on getting most of the stuff blocked out. So there's not going to be much detail put on here because we've got a lot of different extra elements to add to it, which is probably going to change where I want the detail. So I'm not going to worry too much about that. I mainly focus on getting the colours blocked out, like I said. Something goes on the back of that. And it's going to look a little bit weird and incomplete. Because it is incomplete. So it is going to look weird until it's got all the different bits added. But we'll get it as close as possible. I did say today would probably be a shorter session into figure painting. Aw, I understand. Although there are a lot of different options for stabilizing models these days. A lot of people, because I know a lot of people obviously who do modeling and stuff like that, they use a clamp. Basically, they clamp it to the desk and then paint with that sort of thing. So that is one option if you want to get around having cheeky hands. But I can understand the pain from carpal tunnel. I have painful hands. Which is why I use brushes of this kind of a grip a lot. You'll see me using those. They're just easier for my hands to deal with. But even then, I can't paint for very long periods of time. Oh, nice voice to listen to. Oh, thank you. They look comfy. They really are. They're so good for because most paintbrushes are like this. They'll have a little bit of a thicker bit where you're meant to put your hands, but they're quite smooth. And these are fine, but my hands will cramp up after half an hour, 40 minutes, something like that. Whereas the grip here, it just helps to kind of relieve the pressure on your hands. Your hands aren't like scrunched up as much, which means, you know, you can paint for a bit longer. So that's why I like the ones with the grips. I have a mixture because I need different brush sizes and lengths and things like that, and sometimes you just can't find the grips on particular brushes, but that's just me. For someone who's just starting out, like, you wouldn't need 20 different brushes to paint a model. That's just me being picky, because I've been painting for years and years and years at this point. And it's only recently that I've started actually needing the grips as much as I do now. When I first started painting, I didn't have to worry about that sort of thing. They are comfy. I do recommend them, even to people who don't need adaptations, I guess I would call it. I would still recommend them. They're a lot more comfy to hold for long periods of time in general. But yeah, they relieve the pressure on my hands quite a bit. This is why I tend to get my fine detail brushes in this color. This kind of style, even. They're the ones where I need the most control over where my brush goes. Yeah, I'm happy to talk about starting out model painting if you do ever decide that you want to. It's obviously something I've got quite a lot of knowledge about. You just could kind of give tips and tricks and hints and stuff like that. I'm not a professional painter, but I do know what I'm talking about when it comes to this hobby. My messages are always open. It's been really nice to see more creators get into this sort of stuff. And also, even like people I would not consider content creators, but well-known names like Henry Cavill's probably the most well-known. It's nice to see the hobby growing. Because when I first started out, it was quite a niche thing. Not a lot of people did it. It was basically just Warhammer nerds. And then it kind of became more popular through stuff like Critical Role and then Henry Cavill and people like that, sort of kind of making it more mainstream. And now you get people who have no interest in Warhammer whatsoever who are just like, I just like the idea of painting something. I don't really care about playing the game. I just want to paint models. And honestly, they're the best kind of people to talk to. They're like, cool. What models do you think look cool? We'll go from there. Daddy Cavill. I am a big fan of Henry Cavill. Wonderful human being. I had the absolute pleasure of meeting him last year. Definite highlight of the year. Absolute gem. 100% best nerd ambassador. 10 out of 10. Would meet again. I got nothing but good things to say about that man. Are you jealous? Well, he came by my work, which also happens to be my local hobby store. And yeah, he was sort of taking photos of people and chatting and stuff like that. And I happened to only be there because my partner wanted to meet up after work, so I dropped by, and then he walks through the door, and I'm just sat there like, what? Excuse me? Because they kept it really quiet that he was coming because they didn't want him to get mobbed. But as soon as they started showing him around, it spread like wildfire. But he was absolutely lovely. He was super patient with everyone, like took the time to say hi and like just genuinely really, really lovely human being. He is exactly as you imagined him from interviews and stuff. Just a complete gentleman. So yeah, that was cool. I'd love to actually meet him intentionally again in the future, but who knows? But yeah, you ever get the chance to meet Henry Cavill, take it. He's lovely. And he seems more happy to talk about nerd stuff than he does about, like, you know, like Superman or whatever. Like, he's more happy to talk about Warhammer than that sort of stuff. I get the impression he would probably rather be a professional hobbyist if he could. Even more jealous. I fully admit that was a very, very lucky moment. And I was also extremely starstruck because I was like, hang on a minute. Because this was just after Witcher Season 2 aired. So it was like the peak of Henry Cavill being in everyone's living rooms. And I'm just sat there like, I know that face, and that is not a face I expected to see on a, you know, a Wednesday afternoon just after work. It was very surreal. It's cool, but very, very surreal. You can even forgive him for being a Custodes player. He's that nice. Wasn't it that he almost missed the role for Superman because he was like, yes. So the story goes that he was in a WoW raid and he almost missed the call for telling him he got the role of Superman because he didn't want to stop raiding. Which I get, by the way. someone who has been in some pretty intense WoW raids. I totally get that. But it's perfect. But he's done a few painting videos on his Instagram. Which it annoys me personally because he's probably a better painter than I am. And I'm just sat there like, damn it, you're like Dave Grohl. You're good at everything you do, and you're too nice for me to be mad at you for it. You know the kind of people I'm talking about, right? Where they're just good at everything. And they're so nice that you can't even resent them for it. You're like, come on, at least be an unpleasant human being to talk to. Give me something here. Give me something to hate you for. Nope, they're just that good. Anyway. There you go. Henry Cavill, top tier person. Please stop being so talented, but at the same time, can't be mad at him for it. I just have to get better. I think once I get these guys painted in, it might be time for me to call it here, because streaming for a little under 5 hours yesterday has kind of knocked all the energy out of my sails a little bit. I definitely feel like I'm in need of a bit of time today. But we've made a nice start. I'm happy with what we've done so far. And I think you can kind of get a good idea of where I'm going with this. Let's see if this will focus a bit better. No? Come on. You're gonna focus on me? There we go. One of these days I'll get a better camera. When it don't cost thousands of pounds. Move the camera down a bit for you guys so you can see. There you go. So that's the start. Obviously Mortarion, he's got a lot going on, so this will be several streams. This is going to be my next project for probably at least the next month, if not longer. But I'm going to leave it there for today. Apologies for the slightly shorter stream, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you very much for joining me. I appreciate it. Thank you for keeping me company. I'll be back next week in the usual time and places, so please keep an eye out on Twitter for that. And in the meantime, I hope you all have a wonderful day and night wherever in the world. Take care of yourselves, stay safe, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye for now, folks.